Hello everybody, welcome back. It is Jeff again, coming to you from the Mindcrack server. And we got some people on today, which is nice. What do we got? We got Arcus, B-Dubs, and Mr. Seth Bling are all on, all of us with 0 kills. I did that montage recently of the hospital building, and people kept asking me how long it actually took. I would say of straight up gameplay time, that was a solid 6 hours. I only had 3 hours of footage from it that I had sped up. And it was... I only recorded about half of what I had done. So I'm estimating it's about 6 hours worth of physical work, which is a reason why I do not feel like working on the hospital again right now. It is an extremely long process, but it is coming along nicely. I am very glad. Kurt and Anders are the people that are up. And again, I've stopped regenning, which is kind of annoying. But right now what I'm actually doing is I'm going to move... Oh, I left that shovel. That was dumb. I was going to go grab that shovel. I should run back to my base and grab that super shovel for a minute. Because somebody had the greatest suggestion for my horse track. And they said to use, instead of the crafting tables, to utilize... Whoa, I went the wrong way. I had to go back in so I can heal the rest of the way. But to utilize red sand, which I think would look phenomenal. So therefore, I'm going to go back and regen, go get that shovel, head all the way back out there to that new biome area so that I can go get some red sand and do that track, because I think that will look fantastic. So that will be part of what this episode is going to be about today. I should probably make a minecart while I'm there. Unfortunately, my beacon is currently not on regen mode, and that is because, for one, I still don't have enough iron in order to do regen mode on it. I need to get some more iron, and I'm about to waste some iron by making a minecart, but that's okay. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I wasted a lot of iron making those hoppers, which turned out to be relatively pointless because I'm not even going to use that system, but I'm sure I can use those at some point. Man, I have just enough iron left to make the one minecart that I need. You know what? I probably actually have a minecart somewhere. I should grab some of these as well. I probably actually have a minecart somewhere because of my horse getting caught in the minecart, and I got that one back. Not sure where. You know, it might have actually broken on the cactus. So maybe I don't have that one back. I'm not entirely sure. But either way, we are heading out to the new area just in order to grab that red sand and come back. I don't plan on doing too much out there. Can't remember where it's at. You guys don't want to watch me go all the way over there, though, so I will... Is that guy after me? Oh, man, I thought he was after me for a minute. You guys don't want to watch me go all the way over there, even when I do figure out which one of these lines it was in. It must be on the other side, but it's a long journey, so I'll meet you guys when I get over there. Man, I tried to bail out early from the minecart because I saw that dude hanging around, and I still... Man, they're all over the place. Do they blow up clay? I'm pretty sure they do blow up clay, so that's probably not... One shot for you. Where are you at? I don't see you anywhere. There you are. Gotcha. Let's see if you dropped anything fun. Any gas tiers, anything like that? No. Yeah, those gas are kind of a problem here at the end of the track. We need to cover the end or something like that because it is no gas tiers from either of you. But we keep jumping out of the cart, going on the outside of the wall, then there's ghasts everywhere, and it gets really, really, really annoying. So, back out into this familiar territory, and there's my one orange block that I had. So let me go get some of this sand here, and hopefully do this in a potato. I'll take that. Hopefully do this in a way where I don't destroy the landscaping, so I want to go... try to do it from a relatively unobtrusive area over here. I don't need like a crazy amount of this sand, but I would not mind having a decent amount of it as well. try to do it from the periphery so it doesn't look like the landscape has been destroyed. This shovel's so good, though. I've already got so much. Oh, it's great. Somebody told me that this shovel was like a completely pointless shovel, and it was dumb that I had like picked it up and bothered to repair it. But I will tell you, it has served its purpose extremely well, so I am extremely happy with it. I want to grab some clay as well, but again, I don't want to take it from the outside. I wonder if I can mine the internal parts, just because I don't know much about this clay yet. I don't know if... Is this clay... Can you change the color of it when it's already colored, or do you have to get like base clay to change? Like, that's how little I know about this clay right now. So I'm gonna do some internal mining of this thing, and we will find out when I get back. So when I get back to the base, I'll be able to tell you about my experience at the fire station the other night, which is a good experience, nothing crazy and special, but I was extremely happy with it. So we will get to that momentarily. Oh my god, it's the Nebs. It is the Nebs. New computer? I know that he has been... Whoa, see ya, suckers. No! I know he has been off the grid for a while from actually playing on the server based on computer issues. Get in there! Oh, thank God. That spider's gonna come through, isn't he? He did not come through. He's just gonna be waiting for the next poor sucker who... Get on. Oh. The next poor sucker who comes on through, he's gonna be like there and already like ready to destroy them. Oh, no, 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 no! No! I started to move. Can I catch up with the cart? It can't be moving that fast. Come on, little cart. I think it's going to make it all the way back home without me if I don't catch it. Ugh. Woo! Got it. Okay, I'll see you guys when we get back. Okay, made it back. Heading back toward the home front. But, yeah, Nebs' computer's been on the fritz. I was just giving him a hard time about when he's actually gonna get himself a new computer. And he said he doesn't know yet, but he's got his old one somewhat working again. He'd been off the grid for a while because of the issue, but luckily he still did make it a point to get out to Minecon and things like that, which was pretty awesome. So I got to meet him for the first time. It was actually really funny at Minecon because met him. And, you know, you can't not know that dude's voice. He's got a very distinctive voice. And I was sitting there talking to him for a while at the pre-Mindcrack, or the pre-Minecon, Mindcon, I guess it'd become known as, when we did our little party. And I was talking to him at dinner, and I was talking to, like, Vito Below and stuff at dinner. And right after dinner got done, it was it was funny because we're standing up and we're starting to talk to some fans, and I looked over next to me and MC Gamer was there talking to somebody, and it was like a couple people queued up like waiting to talk to him, but in between he was standing like right next to me. So right when he finished with the one person, I was like, hey man, I don't want to interrupt too much, but I was like, shake your hand. I was like, it's so good to meet you finally. And he was like, yes, thank you. And he kind of just looked at me and he's like, so, are you enjoying the convention so far? And I was like, yeah, so far it's great. And I just kind of looked at him and smiled, and he was like, okay. And he started to kind of turn the other direction, and I was like, hey, MC. It's like, do you know who I am? And he goes, yeah, you're, and I was like, dude, I'm Jay Sano. And he goes, oh my God. He's like, I feel like such an asshole right now. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it, man. Like, you know, yeah, my voice is relatively distinct, but only if you listen to it, you know, daily or every so often. I know a lot of the Mindcrack guys don't have time to watch each other's videos because just the nature of, you know, what we do. Like, I haven't watched other people's Mindcrack videos in quite a while. I think I have to make this bigger now. It does look much better than those other things I had. I could probably just extend it out this way and make it look okay. I don't know what to do with the... Let's see. But I thought that was funny. But anyways, at the fire station last night, or Wednesday night, I should say, it wasn't last night. It was, so I guess it goes back to last week. I've been riding the ambulance quite a bit, which gets a little bit annoying. Oh, God, I forgot that I don't have this thing closed off. I can't say it gets annoying. I don't mind the ambulance. That was weird. It looks like a fishing line came in here. That was crazy. I drive it a lot. I actually hate driving, and I got my driver status to help out because we're always short on drivers. And now I understand why we're always short on drivers. It's because it fucking sucks to drive that thing. Not that it's not difficult to drive once you get used to it, but you just, when you're stuck doing that all the time, it gets really annoying, and that's what it becomes when you're one of the few people qualified to do so. And a lot of people actually won't get their driver status because they don't want to end up being on the ambulance a lot. They want to be able to ride the engine and things like that. Most of the people at the fire station, can't say all, but most are they're there to ride the fire truck. You know, they want to ride the engine, and I understand that's like the same way I am too, but when it makes it so that there's so few drivers, this side ended up looking good. What did I do wrong to this side? I think I extended this out too much for one, which means I extended that out too much for one, which means I extended that out too much for one. There we go. And then this one. This has got a much more nicely rounded corner on it. It's stair steps all the way in. There we go. There we go. My horses have a little track. Let's take it for a spin, baby. Let's do this. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. This is just your practice track. Don't worry. We'll build you a real track soon. But that suggestion... Oh. That suggestion for... Yeah, not that way. For the red sand was a phenomenal suggestion because it looks way better than those workbenches did. But anyways, so the other week, I finally was not on the driving the ambulance because we had enough ambulance drivers there, and my shift officer actually felt bad, excuse me, because I've been in the ambulance so much that I've maybe ridden the engine grand total like 4 times in the entire past year, which is really annoying because I really like riding the engine. And I'm in the process of trying to, what they call phase up on the engine. And it's really hard to phase up when you don't ride it enough to be able to phase, especially because we got rid of, crap, he's going to explode. Everything stopped. Okay, it's moving again. When you don't ride it enough to learn it properly, you can't phase that easily because you got to know a lot of stuff to be able to phase. Take a test, and then you take a practical exam and all this stuff. And I've been trying to learn it. Then we ended up getting a new engine, which is what they call a county piece. We had our own kind of setup engine before, and now we have one that matches the rest of the county, but it's got a different inventory on it. So I knew our old engine pretty inside and out. And then we got the new one, and in the interim when we got the new one, or we just started riding the county one, I should say, I've been riding the ambulance so much, so I'm so rusty on the complete inventory of it, and I keep trying. And every time I go out there and try to go through the inventory, if I'm on the ambulance, you know, inevitably we get a call or anything they start doing for training and this and that. I get a call, so I wouldn't be able to participate because I'm on the ambulance that runs a lot more calls. So the other week, they randomly put me on, I don't know why I was going there. I wanted to go check out what Dog Shop has. They put me on our tower, which is not the engine. It is the tower. Name tags, how much is he selling them for? 16 diamonds, good God. Put me on the tower, which is, it's got a different function. I'd never ridden on the tower before. So I'm like, okay, I'm on the tower. I'm, you know, the 6th person of 6 on here, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And we ended up going out to 2 fires that night, which were both nothing fires, but we still went out to 2 fires where stuff had to be done, and I really did not know what I was doing on the truck. I thought I was just going to be following somebody around, because when you ride the engine and you're not phased yet, you are supposed to follow the officer. They say follow the officer, get there, take their lead, do this stuff. So I said, okay, I figured I'd be doing that on the truck, but it doesn't work that way, which I didn't realize on the truck. So I kind of was trying to help out where I could, and then at one point they asked for a positive pressure ventilation, which I know exactly what it is, but I don't know where all this stuff is stored on the tower. I had gone through it once right before we got this call, and I just run through it, and then we got this call and we went out. And so I was like, okay, we need to get the PPV fan. So I ran into I started opening up cabinets looking for it, and the officer, who's also one of our duty officers, he was just kind of like, dude, you got to learn the inventory on this. I'm like, I didn't know I was getting put on this thing, I haven't had a chance. I said, you're right, I got to learn the inventory. I really want to learn the inventory. I don't want to be a liability on a fire ground if, like, let's say, yeah, we had a full truck that night, but what if we didn't have a full truck and I was still on the truck? And it does happen. I've been on the engine as the most senior guy besides the officer on the engine before, with only 4 of us total. The other guy being, the third guy being less experienced than I am, and I'm not that experienced with the engine. So it does happen occasionally, and I was like, yeah, I need to make this a point. I need to get back. I need to go through this inventory. I need to learn this inventory. So that night, I just started rocking through that inventory, opening up every cabinet, go back around it multiple times. I'm like, I need to learn this. I need to make sure I learn this, and I learn it well. last week, or on Wednesday, a couple days ago, they came up and they said, okay, Jeff, how well have you learned the inventory? I said, pretty well. I said, I'm going to run through it. I already ran through it once more earlier. I want to run through it again just to make sure I keep this thing on lockdown. They're like, okay, go run through that inventory. So went back, and one of the other guys went out with me as well, and we went through it together very systematically. I guess one didn't matter. Very systematically, we went through it, and I love teaching opportunities. I love all that stuff, and I want to learn all this stuff as well as I can. So all of a sudden he gets back and he goes, good, we're going to do a big night of checkoffs tonight. Wednesday before Thanksgiving, you all made your way out here. Let's get people checked off. So all of a sudden they handed me a Phase 1 truck pack. And I'm like, I've ridden this truck one time in my life. I'm not fully phased on the engine yet because I've been riding the ambulance so much. And you just gave me my Phase 1 truck pack. Well, I can't say I nailed everything perfectly, but I did great because I had gone through that inventory so much. By the end of the night, I was completely phased up, practical and written exam, phased up on that truck because I just made it that point to myself that I said, I have to learn this. I have to learn this thing. I'm not going to screw this thing up. And my shift officer was actually extremely impressed, as well as one of the other guys who I do a lot of training with, because he's been in the fire service. He's only like 22, but he's been in the fire service, since he's born pretty much. And he loves training as well, and he loves people to really know what they're doing. So I love people like that because they help me out tremendously. And he was like, yeah, he was like, I'm really impressed how well that you've, gone through and made it a point to make sure you knew all this stuff. He's like, I'm really glad. And I was like, yeah, me too. I was like, thanks. But I ended up getting my Phase 1 on the truck, which is fantastic. I'm a Phase 1 on the truck and a Phase 1 on the engine. I was supposed to take my Phase 2 engine exam, and they didn't end up running that on Wednesday. But hopefully next week I'll be my Phase 2 on the engine, which means you can pretty much do everything except what the officer would do, which is be like in charge. You have to be a Fire 3 to do that, which requires you be a Fire 2 for a minimum of a year, as well as go take like 3 other classes you have to take to be I don't want to do that, to be a Fire 3. So I got a little ways to go for that one. Most people in the county who are volunteers don't usually phase up to the next level. They sit there at the second stage because, especially if they're volunteers, it's a lot of work to get up to Phase 3, and it doesn't really give them any benefit unless they really have big aspirations of becoming an officer. So I was proud of myself that only being on that truck twice, that I just made it that point to make sure I learned it so that I could be everything I can be. I'm one of those people who we have a lot of people in the fire service, especially the young volunteers, and by young I mean anywhere like 18 to 21. Many of them do it because they want to say that they're a firefighter. They think it's cool, and that's what there is to it. I've been on the engine before where people who, their box alarm would go out, and I'd go, and it would be before we set up our lineup, because it like happened at 5 o'clock, right when we're getting everything ready to do our lineup and put everybody in their places on what they're going to ride for the evening. And box alarm would go out, and all of a sudden 3 out of the 4 people in the back of the engine are people who have never been to a fire, who aren't even phased to anything yet, and they just ran out there, jumped on, and the engine took off, and they just did that for the purpose of, they're going to go ride fire. They don't care if they know anything. They're just doing it. It's fire. It's awesome. And I am not that way at all. I do not want to go out to a fire and end up screwing something up and being the reason that somebody else gets hurt. What are those people going to do when, you know, something actually goes wrong and they're just like, oh shit, I was just here to have fun fighting a fire. I don't know what to do. This guy that does a lot of training with me, the non-officer guy, just a guy who really is into training and making sure people know what they're doing. He's really big on RID, Rig, and Rick, which is the Rapid Intervention Crew, Dispatch, and Group. So it's basically rapid intervention. It's people who get placed out. Oh, I need to go. I went and picked up those saplings so I could replant them because I'm waiting for more wood and just realized that I never replanted them. But he is huge on making sure people understand. He says, Rig, Rick, Rid, he says, those are the biggest jobs on the fire ground. He's like, because those are the people who are there to protect us. He goes, if I'm ever in a fire, I want to know that there's people there and ready and not just goofing off and having a good old time in the side because they didn't get any equipment out because they didn't feel like anything would happen and they didn't want to put it away, which does happen a lot. And that if I actually do fall through a floor, that they are ready to go. So he is huge on training for that stuff. So we've been running drills on that because their whole job is, if there's a mayday, which means a firefighter is injured or trapped or something, it is the job of the rapid intervention crew to go in and save them. So you got to get out there. You have a lot of work that you end up doing. You get to you're supposed to do. You get to the fire ground. You are supposed to secure yourself a hose line. You pull out every saw from your vehicle. You pull out almost every tool in your arsenal, and you have it basically at the front lawn. Oops. I'm like, why won't this go down? Because I can't plant wheat. Every tool in your arsenal so that you are ready and prepared. A lot of crews do sit there. They don't want to take the time to pull their stuff out because 99.9% of the time, nothing happens to the firefighter. It's, you know, it's safety. You go in defensive mode a lot instead of offensive mode, so therefore you're not actually fighting a fire that's too out of control. I need to figure out how this thing works. So you don't end up fighting a fire that's too out of control, that you want to do this thing. I need to get all the way down to my regen. So they'll end up not pulling anything out, and they're not prepared when something actually goes wrong. And I love this guy for the fact that, for one, he's so young, but he's so into safety and doing things right and training, and I love that about people. I'm just running around aimlessly while I'm telling the story. It's kind of annoying to you guys, I'm sure. Let me go get some bone meal and get those trees to grow. But I will listen to him all day long, anytime he's willing to teach anything, which he's always willing to teach if you just ask him, but he's often very much just like, I'm going to go get people and make them learn type of deal as well, because he knows it's not just about, you do have to have a willingness to learn, that's for sure, but when these people are part of the fire service anyway, if they don't have that willingness on their own, you do have to force them to learn, because you want to make sure that they are ready to go when something goes wrong. Don't just be like, well, they don't want to learn, so screw them. No, if they're actually the guy that's supposed to have my back, I'm going to make sure that his mentality, he's going to make sure that they know what they're doing and they are ready. And I love that, especially about my Wednesday night crew in general. We're a really good crew that, for the most part, everybody wants to learn and wants to move on. The other guy that, he's like the same experience level as me, just a little bit behind him when he took his fire class. He's a 44-year-old ex-Marine, and so we're always sitting there and trying to learn, because we're both on their mindset. We're not young, stupid kids anymore. I mean, we're probably still stupid, the fact that we want to run into burning buildings, but that's cool. We know better. We're like, hey, I want to make sure I do this right. I don't want to go there just as, I don't want to be staffing this engine as minimum manning if I really don't know what I'm doing, because people can actually get killed in burning buildings. I mean, it's very high likelihood scenario where you could die. It's not one of those situations where it's like, well, I don't need to, learn to do my job better at McDonald's as a cashier, because it's not gonna, it's not really life or death. And it could be in some weird way. I guess you can make it that way, but obviously not nearly as obviously as going into burning buildings and things like that. So I really love the Wednesday night crew that we have. I love the fact that they're so willing to train so that we do get up to date on what we have to do, but they won't check you off on stuff if you're not proficient at it either. So it's not that they were just like, hey, you did it this one time. Like, they know they're gonna, that people who don't know their stuff. We actually have one guy who's been working on his truck stuff a little bit longer, that he screwed up on one thing pretty hardcore, and they told him, they said, just wait, next week we'll go over it again with you, and make sure you have this thing down before we check you off. And yeah, since you logged on. It is though now. So yeah. So that's my little, so basically, moral of the story, especially if you're in, I think it should go for any job. You should always take any training that you can get your hands on, because training is always good. You never know too much. Even if you're the trainer, it's always great to learn more from other people. And if you're not the trainer, then if you're not a trainer, then you still have things that you could easily learn in that area. Become one. Teach other people. Make sure people know what they're doing in any situation, especially ones that can be life-threatening. So that's me on my soapbox for a while. All in all, it's good though, so I'm not complaining at all. It's great. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I didn't really do too much. I went and got that sand, fixed the racetrack, got a little wood border going. I got some more wood I want to put at the top border and see how that looks as well. But since it's night and there's people on and it's dangerous, I'll have to wait until next time. So thanks for watching. See you guys later.